Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Here I am in all of my glory. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's been a couple of days, but again, I just finished the catalog of over 685 lots of jewelry, all vintage, all amazing. As an advisor, my job sometimes extends my week very, very long. So thank you so much. I'm so energized. I just got off the phone with Tanya at My Jewelry Addiction, and she was like, "You're nuts." So I was like, "I'm going to do a video because I'm absolutely crazy right now." So thank you so much for coming and joining me. My desk is completely filled. This is going to be a very quick video on, well, it's not going to be quick. Who am I kidding? But I'm going to try and do as rapid as I can with not a lot of info in the beginning. But thank you again so much for subscribing. Thank you for sharing me out. Again, I'm so touched by the growth of my channel and how amazing some viewers have been. Not to single people out, but Shelly, you know why I'm thankful for you. You gave me a beautiful gift the other day, which I've already used, and it is helping me relax at night. So thank you so much for your kindness. I've received other gift boxes in the mail, and I'll go over that in another video so I don't get too far into that. This is basically what I have found in terms of treasures, and the desk is loaded. I made a little list. Thank you again for joining me. Like I said, please go over to one of my past videos. It's titled, You Asked For It. That's the title of it in bold. It says You Asked For It. And it is a video on me as a metalsmith and some of the creations that I've made over the last 26, I don't even know, 24, 25, 26 years of my artistic career. And please go over to that video because a lot of you have asked to see some of my creations and things that I've made. So please go over to that. I think you'll be delighted. A few shout outs to get them out of the way as well. And I already light up when I say her name, but that girl, Dina Marie, you all got Dina Marie to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. For those of you who have not went over to that girl, Dina Marie, I beg you, beyond beg you, to please go over to that girl, Dina Marie. You'll see why. I won't get into that. And you also got Mia at Crazy May's Stash to 1,000 subscribers as well. And that warms my heart so much because you're also generous as viewers to give our community and our people some love. And thank you so much for supporting some of my friends on YouTube. I really appreciate it very much. New channels that I wanted to give a shout out to. I just made a list, so please grab a piece of paper and a pencil. This is the list for today's Dandy's Unlocked Treasures, and it's Dandy's Unlocked Treasures. Dandy is beautiful. She's high energy. She's really affordable. There's just something there about Dandy the first time I went into one of her lives. I don't think she goes on very frequently, but please go over and subscribe to these few people, please. I don't get anything for it. It's just from my heart to these lovely women. So Dandy's Unlocked Treasures. There's that, and I hope you can read it okay. Let me take it out of this frame. That's enough of the feedback, enough of the glare. So it's Dandy's Unlocked Treasures. And then the other one is Sheena Sales Thrifty Treasures. And I don't know if this is coming out the right way or not. I can't tell on my camera. It seems like it's reversed, but it says Sheena's Sales and Thrifty Treasures, and then Designs Laura, Dzines Laura. The reason why I put Laura on here again is, there's something, it's my channel, and I hate to say I'm going to do what I want, but it's my channel and I'm going to do what I want. Designs Laura is magnetic, genuine. She makes jewelry. My friendship with her, I don't know. I'll just say that you will find Designs Laura, Dzines, Designs Laura, amazing. And then Sarah's Journals. For the last channel there is Sarah's Journals. And to me, it looks like it's opposite. I don't know if it's going to be in the video. I sure hope not. Because if so, it'll be the first time that didn't come out right. But it's flipped today for some reason. Normally I can see it in the camera and it's not flipped. But there's Sarah's Journals. And then the last one is bullyruncoffee.com. That is my partner Jeremy's mobile coffee shop. So there is your list right there to write down. Enough about that. But yeah, Jeremy has already sold some coffee to some of you, and he is so excited. So bullyruncoffee.com. You'll be delighted with your order because he's a stickler for good coffee. If you like me in terms of the jewelry world, you will love Jeremy and become addicted to him in the coffee world. So my homework is done. A special thank you to Lynn. You know who you are, Lynn. Thank you so much for everything and the uplifting messages that you send me and your new friendship. And Joel Jett, thank you again, and you know why. Joel Jett, you have been fantastic. And thank you everyone who's went over to my eBay. It is listed on my main page on YouTube. I don't have to go over that again, but thank you so much for your orders. You have been so generous with helping me with my eBay business and sales. So thank you very much. Now, I have those pieces of paper out of the way. Now we're going to get into this. So the lucite necklace I showed in the last one, you had all asked and inquired. And again, I'm very surprised by the outpouring of love for my art. So I made this lucite necklace, and I think this was 2000. And these are the acrylic grapes. And I cut them in half, and I sanded them down to give them a resilience of light. So I pushed light back out to you. This vase is echoing and driving me absolutely crazy. So here is this crystalline glazed vase. Yes, it's contemporary. Yes, it's from China, but that color saturation and the micro crystals, look at the crystals that formed on that. And I bought this in Parkersburg, West Virginia with my partner, Jeremy. We went on a kind of a shopping trip, if you will, or a treasure discovery. And this was in the lobby of the one store that we went to. It was a consignment store. And it was only $18. But the size of it and the scale and its form, I loved the glaze. I loved the color. And you know I'm a sucker for crystalline glaze. So that's that first treasure out of the way now. Now I'm not echoing into that. And by the way, Sheena, the other night, I was at Sheena's sales. She is such a character. She, you know, I don't want to say she's like me or I'm like her, but we have similarities in our personality. And I guess you either love us or you don't. And I love her. She's high energy, she's hilarious, and she had a porcelain egg that she was selling, and she was talking into it. So the echo of that face just reminded me of her. I laughed so hard. I probably woke my neighbors up at 11 o'clock at night. I was laughing so hard. But Sheena is amazing. You'll love her. So go over to Dandy's and go over to Sheena's, please. And please, when you go over to them, tell them that I sent you so that they know that you come from a place of peace and kindness, you know, because you all do. Everyone here has been so incredibly amazing to me. And I from the bottom of my heart, I thank you very much. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Sterling silver links on the necklace. And then, like I said, I sanded these down. I'm like a squirrel. I get so distracted by stuff, but I was hearing myself in that vase and I just couldn't stand it anymore. So there is the lucite necklace that I made on sterling. I drilled out the lucite half, spheres. And then I put silver wire in, tap and dyed into them to hold them onto these then kind of angular link that I made by hand in sterling silver, but the whole thing's made by me, start to finish, just using, again, found objects and turning them into something that doesn't look like a cluster of lucite grapes or acrylic grapes. It now looks like, I don't know what it looks like, ladybugs maybe, some people have said, but it looks like it illuminates itself. And I love that about some of the things that I create. It looks like they have kind of a life of their own. Okay, that's safe and out of the way. A vintage cross that I was wearing last week, and I just brought it on because I wanted to show you some of the things that I wear, because a lot of you ask. So that's a huge Mexican silver cross. And yes, it's made in a certain style. I won't mention the artist that it's made after, because it's most certainly not one of hers, but made in the style of her work. But chevron amethyst, and then 4 facets in a kind of a, not really a pyramid shape, but a kite shape. And then the turquoise are beautiful in bezel set. So there's a gigantic turquoise cross that I was wearing last week, and it's very sizable. I loved that. So we'll set that out of the way. Now, a piece of art glass I still haven't figured out, and I'm still doing some research. It reminded me of Lundberg art glass because it's looking towards 1900 with this kind of fumed surface and kind of like almost aurora borealis finish, but more of an iridized surface. And unfortunately, the camera's washing it out. But it's very electric blue and electric purple and cream on this kind of earth tone base. And you can tell by the foot that that's not an early foot for one of these vases. So you can tell it's more contemporary. But encased, so the white on the inside, hand blown, and a raw pontil on the bottom. So it does have some age, needs to be cleaned, but that came in not too long ago. And again, I was trying to sell it, and then I thought, no, slow down and find out who did that before I sell it. Let me set that out of the way. I have so much more to go. A vase that was in one of my short feeds, and this is Rorstrand, and when you go to the short feed, you'll see it. This is Rorstrand, Arts and Crafts Original. And can someone argue and say that it's more Art Nouveau? People don't have to fight over time periods because it's loosely interpreted. And at different, in different countries, the time periods and the movements were different. So this is very transitional between Art Nouveau and Arts and Crafts. Stylized poppy flowers, and then this open work, reticulated, pierced out and then glazed over, but so sizable and so beautiful and in perfect condition. That is a monster for Rorstrand. And there's the mark on the bottom. Oops, camera's flashing it out. There we go. There's the Rorstrand mark. If you want to see that up close, go to the short feed, because I did a short feed on finding it out in the wild at the antique store. And again, I was in Parkersburg, West Virginia when I found this, and I do travel quite frequently to acquire these and to let these things find me. And I went through the store, and it's a very odd thing. I went through the store, and I didn't see it in my first pass through, and that's very odd because normally I would. And I always tell people, go back through a second time with a fresh set of eyes. I think sometimes, at least when I shop, I kind of get caught up in the moment. And that's why I don't bring my camera in, is because I don't want something in my way. And I feel like the electronical, I just made up a new word like usual. Electronic kind of vibration may chase off my intuition in a way. So I just kind of, as I fidget and get nervous about an explanation, I can be so human sometimes. And this is one of those moments. But look at the flowers on that. It's extraordinary, and I love it, and it's beautiful. Let me lay that down so that doesn't fall over. Another thing from my short feeds is this gigantic honey calcite stone orb that I got. The short feed did not pick it up. Look at the color play inside of this stone. And it's on both sides. There's rainbows, there's heavenly inclusions. Mother Nature, again, outperformed anything mankind could make. That is incredible. And it's so large. That's one of the biggest that I've seen in honey calcite. I do have one that's more pure, one that's more less inclusions and more transparent, and the price does go up, escalates very quickly, but the size of this was great, and it was $12. Oops, I just laid on my bubble wrap. This is $12 for this. And if I went to a gem show, where someone specialized in this one specifically would be anywhere between 125 and maybe 185. And people can kind of quibble over that price too, but it's true. I know this because I go to the shows all the time, and I know a lot of the dealers, and I could get this direct maybe for 90, on a really good day if a dealer was motivated. But the finish and the polish and the size of that, gigantic. But I loved it. I loved everything about it. Look how pushes and pulls the light. And I always talk about visual vibration and surface, and that got me. And that was a great day. So that was in one of my short feeds. This one's been with me a little while, but you have all been in such love with my crystal and glazed vases. So I decided to bring this one on for you as I hide behind it with my singular eye, always watching you. I'm always with you guys. And you ladies and gentlemen have been just incredible friends, and I thank you so much. The bottom is signed, and unfortunately I was never able to tell who the artist was on this, but it is dated. Let me take a look here. I think it's dated 85. No, it's Robert. I can see it now. Robert something. I'll do some research on that artist for you, and I'll bring it back when I figure it out. But look at the color play of the surface and how gigantic these crystals are that formed. So I'll give you an up close. Wowee. Oh, my. And the form, that tight lip and the flared top and a tiny little hole, almost like a weed or a single stem flower. Sometimes they called them weed pots because they would be a simple, little weed that someone would pick, like a dandelion or some random little thing that you would find on a walk with being one with nature. Why wouldn't you bring something home and put it in this beautiful thing? So yeah, that was incredible. And that had been with me a while, but that was a thrift store thing from years ago and wasn't revered. Again, I need some coffee. And this is my favorite coffee besides Jeremy's. So don't tell Jeremy that I cheat on him with this coffee place, because the girls at this coffee place local have, they're amazing. I love them. And some of them watch my videos. So ladies, thank you so much for putting up with me. You didn't come here to watch me drink coffee, that's for sure, but I had to. I needed it. This came from a thrift years ago, had been in my stuff, but since I'm packing still feverishly for my move, in the original box, look at this paperweight. Look at this guy. What on earth are we looking at? Trapped air that was made in circles, in tubes, trapped air inside of this that are perfect circular tubes inside of a paperweight that small. Give me a break. Look at that thing. Just so you can see on the black, look at the rings. And again, push and pull of light. Looks like, I can't even come up with it. Outer space. Just outer space goodness. And I loved it. And it came in its original box. And of course, let's see if this is the original sticker. It is. Made in Sweden. So it's got this tiny little blue and white paper label. And as an organized hoarder, thank God I kept it. And yeah, Scandinavian, and I loved the box. And again, I think it was $2 at the thrift. Made in Sweden. I think it was $2 at the thrift store back in the day. Another score. Now this one, you're going to have to help me out. So in the comments below, anyone who watches me, like D, Thrill the Thrift, or anyone, maybe Trojan, a lot of people know glass way better than I do. Who in the heck made this? So there's that on the back. And I have always been stumped by this. I don't know the exact age, but I loved the delicacy of this edge. How would that survive? There's a couple little chips here and there, but the foot on it is very early. The way it's molded is very old. I could imagine that this may have been recast in a later time by a different company, but this looks very, very old. But the glass is goes from yellow to clear to orange. So someone please, please, please in the comments below, help me out on this. I need your help because I still don't know who made it. And that drives me crazy when I don't know who makes something so beautiful. Oh, this is friend mail. Oh, no, it's not. I bought that. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, this one is from 1980, and it's by Norkin, Norkin, porcelain clay body, and another one of my crystalline glaze vases. And I bring this to you just to show you something extremely beautiful that as an artist, I went crazy when I found this. Again, this wasn't revered as much. I think this one was $12 or $15 at a thrift years and years and years ago. But that color play and the flash of light in some of these crystals, do some research on crystalline glaze. It's a very finicky, very, very finicky process that's very sensitive to atmosphere and altitude. It almost takes a, I don't want to say a scientist because they're still artists, but it takes someone who understands the science of growing crystals in a glaze. And it's a very, very, very time-consuming process and very finicky. It either works really well or it doesn't. The color of this is what got me. Plus the welcoming and open form, so a tight foot and then broad shoulders and this wide kind of mouth or lip, accepting, very, very accepting. So yeah, whoa. You can see how excited I get about these things because I do. I don't know, I love my things and I love beauty, and I'm going to set that over there. And then this came in the mail. So some of you will say, oh, you get everything at the thrift for so cheap and I can't find anything and my thrifts aren't like that. And thrifts are very difficult now. I'm not denying that. Some thrifts that I go to, I'll find nothing. I'll walk in and I'll walk back out. And now more than ever, I find myself leaving defeated sometimes. So don't feel alone in that, but stay on it because things change daily. I've always told people I used to go to the thrift 2 or 3 times a day, so be persistent. This came from eBay and I got extremely lucky, and this just came in the other day. And I did my talk and my little presentation on art glass. This is Loetz and this is Charles Loetz. This is the father. And it's a magnum paperweight. It's one of the biggest that he would create. It's signed here on the bottom. It's a very difficult signature to see. And this came from eBay. It's signed Loetz right there, Lotton, and it's dated, I think it's 2014. 2004. So that's Charles, that's the father. Why I show you this is I find this to be one of the most beautiful paperweights that I've seen in a very long time. And it didn't come, let's say it didn't come cheap, but it also didn't come at full retail. And the seller was motivated to sell. So I always tell you when you go on eBay, don't hesitate to make an offer because some people, need to sell. It's their full-time thing. So that's Charles Loetz, highly affordable, absolutely beautiful, and again, in perfect condition. Look at the light and the color play. So you can see the blue of the leaves and the blue-green on this pink. And I think those are clematis. I think that's the flower there. Again, I'm not into plants because I kill almost everything in plants. I kill almost everything I ever plant. Plants they just don't like me. I love them, but they just don't like me. There's not much about it that I can say, but that is fantastic, and I loved it, and I'm sure you love it too. So if you love art glass, please consider investing in a Loetz. Again, I don't get anything for that, but I love Charles's work. Let me reach paintings, but I don't know how I'm going to do this. But paintings, let me see if I can get to those in a minute. Let me grab this bag. I have a ton more, so please bear with me today because I have a ton more. And you always tell me don't rush. 2 things that I bought. Marzena does these incredible jewel journals. So I bought one of the sunflower ones, and they're all diamond art. So they all have rhinestones and beautiful. So if you love, and the journals are fantastic. Leather bound, the pages are awesome, and she included a lined piece for me because I'm going to do these journals, one for my mom and one for my dad. So, and again, thank you so much for leaving my dad in your prayers because he's doing fantastic. And my mom and dad watch my shows. So just want to take a second and say, hey, Mom. Hi, Dad. I love you both very, very much. And I'll see you within, a couple days. But Dad, I absolutely love you. You've been the best dad to me that the world could ever provide. So I love you incredibly, incredibly much. And Dad, thank you so much for being not only an incredible man to me and showing what I should be in life, but for being a really great friend. You have really raised a great light in me, and I appreciate you very much. So this one's for my dad. It says, home of the free because of the brave. And nothing can be truer than that, right? So there you go. Sorry about that. Give me one sec. So those are from Marzena, and yeah. So let's get into, I don't like doing that on camera, but it happens, right? It happens. Especially when you talk about a man that has sacrificed so much for his family, and an incredible being. So yeah, thank you, Dad. Thank you so much. This was in one of my short feeds, and I was telling Tanya earlier, I always say this was in my shorts. It sounds terrible, doesn't it? So here I go from, crying to laughter. And I've said before, in life, it's okay to cry until you laugh, and it's okay to laugh until you cry. Right? I think so. Yeah, I do. I think so. These were in the short feed. These were $3, and they still have the I can't stand these string tags. It drives me crazy. But actually, this was in one of my shorts, and it was hanging on a wall, and it was $3. And they're Bakelite, and they're fantastic Bakelite. And they have the screw clasp there. They have that little screw clasp, and love the length of them. And for $3, and because they are so reminiscent of amber, because there is a little bit of a color variation in them. The polish on them is beautiful. I just knew. I just knew. I knew weight-wise they weren't amber, and I knew, you know, they would sell incredibly, incredibly fast. So those will go on my eBay eventually. And then these pearls. So these were on the table because I had already picked them off of the stand that they were on. So here is the problem, but it's not a problem. So there's the clasp right there. It's 14 karat white gold. So that's 14 karat white gold right there. I should take this over to the photo box, but you get the gist. 14 karat white gold. And then they clipped on a nickel silver jump ring and then a magnetic clasp that didn't have the other magnetic part. So that must have fallen off. But here is the clasp that goes into the ball. So there's the little clasp and it goes in here. And it's signed 14K on this. So it's a 14 karat big white gold clasp. And look at the pearls. They're this incredible kind of ribbed, I'm sure cultured, but they're a very unusual color. They're in between gray and that peacock purple. Apparently color treated and dyed, like most of this color or all of this color, but I got to be careful. Most. I have seen natural pearls that were crazy colored. Look at those. So for $3, I bought those. And retail on those, because of the size, it's a very wearable length and a white gold clasp like that, I would think around 200, maybe 225. So, and then I was so excited because those were $3. And that's in the same short feed as the amber beads. So please keep up on my short feeds as well. These Bakelite bangles, I wanted to show them just because I got really lucky, extremely, extremely lucky. I won't say much, but these three came from two different stores on the same day. I don't know how this happens. And this one came from Tanya at My Jewelry Addiction. This one's end of the day Bakelite. So, you know, I've talked about things that aren't Bakelite, but this one's end of the day, and this is an old one. Now be careful because a lot of the quote end of the day bangles that are on eBay, I don't want to upset people, but a lot of them are not correct. A lot of them are contemporary, and a lot of them are not from America, and I'll get into that in another video like I always do, but please be careful. But that is real end of the day and from the 40s, and I'll show you how you can tell an old one from a new one. I won't do that now because I don't have a new one in my collection, but we'll discuss that. And then this one's floral. Look how thick walled that is, and it's the most bright orange, fantastic. And then these two came from the same space. Nope, I take that back. This one and this one came from the same space, and this one came from a different store. It's the octopus sucker. It's 3 rows, and they call it the octopus sucker because it looks like the sucker is on an octopus tentacle. And look at the orange on that. Really fantastic, deep carved, thick walled. So again, these are very, very thick, and you can hear the noise. You can hear that kind of undeniable clunk that Bakelite makes. So really fantastic. And we'll talk about Bakelite testing again because I have some new viewers that don't know some of the things I've went over before. And again, if you're new to the channel, please go over to the past videos and watch some of the specifics on some of the materials already that I've covered, because I really don't like repeating myself. I actually can't stand it. I mean, I'm sure there's several things about me that drive my friends crazy. That's probably one of them. I hate repeating myself. It drives me nuts. So this one is one of the ones that I found in the short feed from the thrift. And it's an anodized aluminum modernist. It was 50 cents. And in the video, it was one of my short feeds and one of my discoveries out in the field. And again, I don't mind doing short feeds as I shop because it's not intrusive. It's actually fun, like when I discover things and then I say, oh, I'll just do a short of this really quick so you know I found it out in the wild, or it found me out in the wild, I should say. But this is rubber, and then these are aluminum links here, but really incredible. I still can't figure out the artist on this. There was a recommendation of who did this, but there were so many artists producing this style of work. Magnetic clasp as well at the back, so that magnetic. And it has this presence and this sizable presence, but it's aluminum, so it's light. So anyways, that you all has to see that up close because in the feed, it's a very, very quick 15-second feed. but it's fantastic. So there's that. And 30 minutes in and I'm still going nuts. Marzena's thing, and then this came from T's Jewelry. And I was so excited about this because when this came the other day, I wasn't sure, but boy, am I happy. She cleaned this up and she did a lot of work on this. And, you know, T is one of those people who, like me, high energy, hilarious at times. Sometimes people don't understand her humor, but come on. She's amazing. And maybe people do understand her humor all the time. And I'm just sometimes, sometimes misunderstood. But I guess sometimes misery loves company. So T is like my sister. She is a fantastic seller, a great personality, and I bought this necklace from her, and it was so moderate. It's vintage, it's D&E, definitely in the line of Juliana, pink rhinestones, Aurora Borealis, and I bought it for very little, and I'm going to sell it and make some decent money on it. But if you love resale and you love the ability to buy very low and resell, T's Jewelry, check her out, TEES on YouTube. Fantastic, and she's a love. She's a doll. Amazing. So T, thank you so much for that. All right, so now this is, oh boy, I have two more. Well, all right, I'll just go with this because it's closest. This isn't unwrapped for a reason. This isn't unwrapped for a reason. I bought so much stuff at this store. I bought Bakelite buttons, apple juice and black, carved and reverse carved, for $2.99 for two of them. Those at the shows go for around $20 a piece. So from $3 to about $40, I decided to do that. These are these beautiful, it's gonna flash it out. See, I can't do this. They're 10 karat gold cross earrings in 10 karat gold. Those were $20. And here was the matching cross necklace, and that was $20. No, that was $40. And then these two is why I brought this box over. Oh, and there's sterling earrings that I bought as well for $6. But that was all for resale. That was very quick resale. That was just, buy it for a moderate price and at least triple or quadruple my money. So I don't normally talk about that kind of stuff on my channel just because, it's, I don't know. I don't want to say it's boring, but you know what I mean. So this vase, oh boy. So I walked in. And this was one of my friends at the mall. This was one of his booths. And what an incredible, incredible form and incredible technique. It's cobalt blue glass. And then look at the inside. I got to get the price tag string out of there because those drive me crazy. Like I said, look at the finish. So I get quiet sometimes because sometimes I'm not sure what to say about things. I don't know the right adjective to use on this besides heaven, heavenly, beautiful, stunning, extremely well crafted, signed on the bottom. And I'm going to do a little bit more signature work on this because at first I thought Loetz because it sure looks like the Loetz signature, but then it's also dated. Can't read the date on it. And then it's signed WEB or WE6. Not sure. It looks like 19 something 82. Sure looks like the Loetz signature to me. But again, sheared and polished bottom. So telltale sign of an artist that knew exactly what he or she was going for. Look at the color and look at the form. I'm completely blown away by this. So I hope you all enjoy that and don't mind the delay. I get lost in some of these things. So there's that one. And then the sister piece to it, as you know, I collect Bohemian glass from the turn of the century. And I don't want to say I specialize in Loetz glass, but I'll just say I'm well known for my Loetz glass collection. And this, as soon as I saw it, oh boy, I was just completely astounded that this existed and that I had the opportunity to buy this. I had no idea that this would be there. And this was also in my friend's showcase. And I did a package deal on the two of them. But the color of this, I wish I could get the color accurate. It's the most iridized blue, green, purple, pink on an orange body. a golden yellow orange body. And then these stylized ginkgo leaves are sterling silver that have been applied to the surface. Look at that. Again, cabinet size, tiny. Look at the color, and look at the shift of color, almost like snakeskin in a way. And it's in perfect condition. Turn of the century. So on this, I always kind of leave out dates because I don't want to say, I assume people know, but this one's right at 1900. And would it go 1907? Sure could, it sure could. Look how excited I get about such beautiful things. I can't help myself. That is incredible. So again, Loetz, and the bottom, there you go. Loetz, and just, again, I could talk about this forever. And to get that silver overlay to stay on the vase, not lift over time. Look at that iridized surface. So from across the room, look at that. And you wouldn't expect such a tiny vessel to speak so loudly, and yet it does. It's a whisper amongst giants, and it commands an awful lot of attention. So that was an amazing day. And I will take this over to the light box because the lighting will be different. It does go like an electric lime green. It's very, very amazing. This is a Mexican necklace, and I guess, I can open it. Thank you again so much for staying with me. I really appreciate it because this is really important to me to grow my channel. So this is an incredible 1960s Mexican necklace. It has the earrings. And the earrings are down inside that box. But I loved the simplicity and the modernistic design of this. And it is old. It has the pre-eagle SA mark on the back of this tab right here. And this wasn't very revered at the antique mall. It wasn't very well thought of. But it lays down beautifully once it's kind of, splayed out, on a form, and it will relax over time and start to form again as a necklace. But it was balled up in this box, and kind of a little bit of a rough trip home in my car. But it's beautiful. It's Mexican, and it's fantastic and modernistic, and very clean lines on that. Very well made, artist signed. Loved it. All right, and then, this whole other bag is full, but we'll get into it really quick. And then I'm going to let you go to enjoy your Saturday. Lucite flowers, but these were at the thrift, and I got really lucky again. They're gigantic. Rhinestone, lucite, phenomenal, fantastic. I unwrapped them as soon as I got home because I didn't like the way that they were wrapped, but a huge calla lily in like a pink kind of moon glow lucite, formed and gigantic with all of its rhinestones, and its original pinback on the back of that, incredible. And the black one, look at the rhinestones, and again, fantastic. And they had the pink one out, but they didn't have the black one out yet. And because I bought the pink one, the lady said, well, I have a black one as well. And I said, I will take them both. Stuart Nye brooch, sterling silver. You can't see it, but that was $3. So I will buy, I don't know what this is. Here I go. Oh yeah, I remember that one. I will buy things like this. Like, it's not important, but it's awesome, and it's I'll have to look at the stone closer. Wire wrapped, and I don't normally do wire wrapped, but the gemstone was worth the $5. The chain is nothing. It's still stainless, but it's a great chain, but it's kind of a nothing. I didn't really buy it for the chain, but I will use that chain for sure. Or what you can do is when you buy something and you don't like part of it, put a box or a bag together and donate it somewhere, because there's a reason why you got it, and there's a reason, that maybe someone needs it more than you, maybe think about it that way. This, I guess I'm getting completely crazy. And look, I can't even see the camera anymore. This is an incredible paperweight, and I got lucky on this. I got lucky on that paperweight too. And we'll get into paperweights again because you all went so crazy and loved the paperweight video. Original label on the bottom, very, very cool colors and very cool patterning. And it was my kind of thing, because putting orange, blue, kind of a yellow, and a white together, I'm in. Yeah, if an artist can do that successfully, I'm in all day long. So that was a yes, and very moderately priced. I think that was $19.95 at I think it was at an antique store, not a thrift. Yeah, this was an antique store. $19.95 $95. I get so crazy. So there's a set of 4 of these, and I'm not going to wrap all of them, but look at these for art pottery. What? I mean, so well potted. Look how thin and look how fine the glaze is. Each one artist signed on the bottom. 1999 or 1997. Again, the light is too bright, but incredibly well crafted. Each one hand thrown and hollow formed with a foot applied to it. So not only did they hollow form this whole thing, but they applied a foot to the bottom of it and then gave it a finished edge. Look at the attention to detail. And I don't go into earth tones very frequently because I'm a very colorful, I like my environment to be very colorful, but this for earth tone, I was in all day long, and there's a set of 4 of those. There's a set of 4. There's another one, and there's 2 more in the bottom. So a set of 4, and those were only priced at $20. I wasn't exactly sure who did them, but I didn't need to be because as an artist, you couldn't pay me, I'll say it, you couldn't pay me $5, to make one of those. I just wouldn't do it. There's no way I would. This is amazing. Look at this little black cat. Look at this little black cat on this, I believe it's a match holder, porcelain and turn of the last century, 1900 and 1915, and porcelain body, and look at that cat. That is incredible, and the cat's face is wonderful. A little bit of natural wear across the surface, but I loved that black cat. And I had a black cat. His name is Shocky. And little Shocky came with my house when I bought my house in 1999. And Shocky came with the house. And what an amazing cat. He was my best friend for quite a long time. I think that almost sums it up. I think as I look around, I have stuff all over the place. I feel like... I feel like I need to clean today. That's what I feel like I need to do. But thank you so much for joining me. Oh, and then the paintings. I was asked about the McDermott paintings to bring them on, so I'm going to do that. Look at this modernist painting as I hide behind it. Look at that for a modernist work of art. That's Mary Ellen McDermott. And a fantastic painting. Look at the surface as I peek around it on this side. Look at the surface that she created. Mixed media. But again, I really loved everything about this painting as I hide behind it. But that's one of the paintings by Mary Ellen McDermott. And that one's circa that one would be around 1960. On that one, let me lean that out of the way. And then here's the one that I had in one of the short feeds. And this one is an earlier work of hers, and I think this is late 50s. But this is called, I think this one was called Glacier as I stand above it. This one was called Glacier. Look at that for a mid-century modern painting. So it's an oil on board and fantastic with composition, texture, in its original 1950s frame. So look at that. Just an incredible work of art, and again by Mary Ellen McDermott. She is known and documented. She was a very famous artist here in this area. So there you go. That concludes the video. I'm going to reach around this. Thank you so much for joining me as I'm totally out of the frame, but you know how I do it. I love you so much. Have an amazing rest of your weekend, and thank you so much for your time. Please share me out to anyone that you would think would enjoy my channel. I'm going to sneak around this painting and get this video stopped. Thank you again. I love you all so very much. Bye-bye.